Let me ask you something. What if the life you're living right now isn't limited by your talent, your background, or your circumstances? What if it's limited by the way you think? Every single day you wake up with the most powerful tool ever created, your mind. And whether you realize it or not, the story you tell yourself shapes the results you see. The way you interpret failure, rejection, pressure, and opportunity determines your direction. Your mindset is not just a belief system, it's a lens. And if you change the lens, you change the life you see. Today, I want to share 3 powerful truths that can completely transform your future if you're willing to accept them. Your beliefs create your boundaries. Let that sink in. Not your bank account, not your last name, not the city you were born in, not the mistakes you made 5 years ago. Your beliefs. Every single day, you are living inside a story, a silent narrative that plays in your mind when you wake up, when you look in the mirror, when you step into a room full of people, when you think about your dreams. And that story is either expanding your life or shrinking it. Some people walk into opportunity thinking, why not me? Others walk into the same room thinking, I don't belong here. Same room, same air, different belief. Different outcome. There was a study led by psychologist Carol Dweck that revealed something powerful. She discovered that people who believe their abilities can grow through effort consistently achieve more than those who believe their intelligence or talent is fixed. It wasn't talent that separated them. It was belief. One group saw failure as proof they weren't good enough. The other saw failure as feedback, and that difference changed everything. Think about your own life. How many times have you said, I'm just not good at this? How many dreams did you quietly bury because you convinced yourself you weren't the type of person who could succeed? Maybe you told yourself you're not confident enough to start that business, not smart enough to go back to school, not strong enough to transform your body, not disciplined enough to change your habits. But who told you that? Was it a teacher who once criticized you, a parent who doubted you, a failure that embarrassed you? Somewhere along the way, someone handed you a label, and instead of questioning it, you accepted it. And the moment you accept the label, you build a wall. A young athlete once got cut from his high school basketball team. Most people would have taken that as confirmation. This isn't for me. But Michael Jordan didn't see it that way. He didn't say, I'm not talented. He said, I'll work until I am undeniable. He changed the belief from I can't to I will. That belief created a different boundary, or rather it removed one. Your mind is incredibly powerful. Neuroscience has shown that your brain is shaped by repeated thought patterns. The more you tell yourself something, the more your brain wires itself to support that idea. If you constantly say, I'm bad with money, your brain starts looking for evidence to prove that true. If you constantly say, I never finish what I start, you begin to unconsciously act in alignment with that identity. You become what you repeatedly believe. But here's the beautiful part. Beliefs can be rewritten. You weren't born believing you weren't good enough. You learned it. And if it was learned, it can be unlearned. Look at J.K. Rowling. Before the world knew her name, she was a single mother, struggling financially, rejected by multiple publishers. 12 times she heard no for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If she had believed those rejections defined her worth or potential, the story would have ended there. But she chose to believe in the story when no one else did. She believed her voice mattered before the world agreed. And because of that belief, the boundary moved. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your current life is a reflection of your current standards and beliefs. If you believe you deserve average, you will tolerate average. If you believe struggle is permanent, you will stop fighting. If you believe success is for other people, you will never step fully into your own potential. Belief determines effort. Effort determines skill. Skill determines results. It all starts at the root. Imagine 2 people who both fail an exam. One says, I'm just not smart. The other says, I didn't prepare the right way. The first person attacks their identity. The second attacks their strategy. The first person feels helpless. The second feels empowered. Because if the problem is identity, you're stuck. But if the problem is strategy, you can adapt. Your beliefs either trap you in helplessness or push you toward growth. I've seen people transform their bodies not because they suddenly discovered some secret workout, but because they stopped saying, I'm just not disciplined. They started saying, I am becoming disciplined. That subtle shift changes behavior. When you believe you're becoming something, you start acting like it. You go to the gym even when it's uncomfortable. You choose better food even when temptation is strong. You keep going even when progress is slow, because your actions align with your identity, and your identity is built on belief. The most dangerous beliefs are the quiet ones, the ones you don't even question. People like me don't get ahead. No one in my family has ever done that. It's too late for me. Those thoughts feel factual, they feel logical, but they are just interpretations shaped by past experiences. Your past is evidence of where you've been, not a prophecy of where you're going. The moment you decide to challenge your limiting beliefs, you create space for expansion. You begin asking better questions. Instead of can I, you ask how can I? Instead of why does this always happen to me, you ask what can I learn from this? Instead of I'm not enough, you ask what skills can I build? And when the questions change, your focus changes. When your focus changes, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, your results follow. There's a reason some people rise from nothing and build extraordinary lives. It's not because they never doubted themselves. It's because they refused to let doubt define them. They felt fear but didn't bow to it. They experienced failure but didn't identify with it. They saw obstacles but chose to see opportunity hidden within them. Your belief is the blueprint. Your life is the structure built on top of it. If you believe you can grow, you'll seek knowledge. If you believe you can improve, you'll practice. If you believe you are worthy, you'll pursue better relationships. If you believe you are capable, you'll take bigger risks. But if you believe you are limited, you'll live small. And the tragedy is not that people fail. The tragedy is that so many never try because they've already decided who they are allowed to be. You don't need permission to expand your belief system. You don't need validation to think bigger about your life. You need courage. The courage to question the old story. The courage to stop identifying with your worst moments. The courage to say, maybe I've been wrong about myself. Because the moment you change what you believe about who you are, you change what you allow yourself to pursue. And when you remove the boundaries in your mind, you'll realize something powerful. The walls were never around you, they were within you. And that means you have the power to tear them down. Pain is a teacher, not a life sentence. But most people don't treat it that way. Most people experience pain once and then relive it for years. They carry it like a label, like a tattoo on their identity. A breakup becomes I'm unlovable. A failure becomes I'm not capable. A rejection becomes I'm not enough. And that meaning lasts a lifetime. And that meaning is a choice. Every single person you admire has faced pain. The difference is not that they avoided it. The difference is that they interpreted it differently. They refuse to let a temporary experience become a permanent definition. Think about the times you've been hurt. Maybe you worked hard and didn't get the promotion. Maybe you trusted someone and they betrayed you. Maybe you gave everything to a dream and it didn't work out. In those moments, pain feels personal. It feels targeted. It feels like the world is telling you to stop. But what if it's telling you to grow? Psychologists have long studied resilience, the ability to adapt in the face of adversity. Research in cognitive behavioral therapy shows that it's not the event itself that determines your emotional outcome, it's your interpretation of it. Two people can experience the exact same setback. One spirals into self-doubt, the other uses it as fuel. Same storm, different anchor. Look at J.K. Rowling. Before the success of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, she faced rejection after rejection. 12 publishers told her no. She was navigating financial hardship and personal struggle. If she had decided that rejection meant she was untalented, that would have been the end. But she chose a different interpretation. She chose to see rejection as part of the journey, not the verdict of her worth. Pain redirected her. It refined her. It strengthened her. And it can do the same for you. The problem is But pain is uncomfortable. And when something is uncomfortable, our first instinct is to escape it. We distract ourselves, we numb ourselves, we blame other people, we blame circumstances, anything to avoid sitting with the lesson. But pain always carries information. Failure tells you where your strategy needs work. Heartbreak reveals what you value and what you will no longer tolerate. Embarrassment exposes where you need growth. Loss reminds you what truly matters. Pain is feedback. When a muscle grows in the gym, it tears first. The soreness you feel is not damage for the sake of damage. It's part of the rebuilding process. The body adapts. It becomes stronger, but only if you allow recovery and continue training. Your character works the same way. Consider Michael Jordan being cut from his high school basketball team. That moment could have convinced him to quit. Instead, it ignited him. He didn't interpret that pain as, I'm not good enough. He interpreted it as, I need to work harder. That shift in meaning changed the trajectory of his life. Pain will either break you or build you. The deciding factor is the story you attach to it. There's a concept in psychology called post-traumatic growth. It suggests that many individuals, after enduring major adversity, report higher levels of personal strength, deeper relationships, and a greater appreciation for life. Not because the pain was pleasant, not because the struggle was easy, but because they allowed it to transform them. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control what it becomes. Maybe right now you're in the middle of something a setback that feels unfair, a season that feels endless. You're questioning your worth, your direction, your faith in yourself, and it's tempting to believe this moment defines you. It doesn't. This moment is shaping you. There's a difference when you start asking, what is this teaching me? Instead of why me, you shift from victim to student. Students grow, victims stay stuck. Students search for lessons. Victims search for someone to blame. Pain forces you to confront yourself. It strips away ego. It reveals weaknesses, but it also reveals strength you didn't know you had. The nights you thought you wouldn't survive, you did. The days you wanted to quit, you kept going. The heartbreak you thought would destroy you, you're still standing. That's evidence that you are more resilient than you think. And resilience isn't built in comfort, it's built in adversity. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is forged in fire, and character is built in struggle. If you remove pain from life, you remove growth. If you remove struggle, you remove strength. The goal is not to avoid pain. The goal is to use it. Let it sharpen you instead of shatter you. Let it discipline you instead of defeat you. Let it clarify your priorities instead of clouding your confidence. One day, you will look back at this season and realize it was training. It was building emotional endurance you will need for the next level of your life. Pain is not a life sentence, it is a chapter, and chapters end. But the lessons, they stay with you, they shape you, they elevate you. So when pain knocks on your door, don't just ask how to escape it, ask what it's here to teach. Because hidden inside your hardest moments are the tools you'll use to build your strongest self. Daily habits shape a powerful identity. Not motivation, not inspiration, not one good day when you feel unstoppable. Habits, who you are becoming, is not decided in dramatic moments. It's decided in the quiet ones. The alarm clock ringing at 5 a.m., the choice between the gym and the snooze button, the decision to study when no one is watching, the discipline to keep your word when it would be easier to make an excuse. Your identity is built in the dark long before it's seen in the light. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. They say, once I believe in myself more, I'll start. But confidence is not the starting line, it's the result. You earn confidence by stacking small promises kept to yourself. Every time you follow through, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. If you say you'll wake up early and you do it, that's one vote for discipline. If you say you'll train and you show up, that's one vote for strength. If you say you'll work on your dream and you make progress, that's one vote for commitment. And those votes add up. Psychologists who study habit formation suggest it takes an average of about 66 days to solidify new behavior into routine. That means transformation is not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about doing something big once. It's about doing something small over and over until it becomes part of you. Look at someone like David Goggins. His reputation for mental toughness wasn't built in one race. It was built in daily suffering, daily discipline, daily refusal to negotiate with weakness. He didn't wake up one day fearless. He trained his mind the same way he trained his body, through repetition. That's how identity is formed. You don't become confident by saying affirmations in the mirror once. You become confident by doing hard things repeatedly. You don't become resilient by hoping for strength. You become resilient by surviving challenges and choosing to continue. Your ha. Bits are proof of what you believe about yourself. If you constantly break promises to yourself, you start to see yourself as unreliable. You begin to doubt your own words. But when you honor your commitments, even the small ones, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of a powerful identity. Think about the person you want to be. Stronger, smarter, healthier, more focused, more disciplined. That version of you is not built in the future. It's built today, in what you choose to do after this speech ends, in how you respond when you're tired, in what you do when motivation fades. Because motivation always fades. There will be mornings when you don't feel like it. Even champions don't feel like it. The difference is they act anyway. They don't rely on emotion. They rely on standards. Standards are habits you refuse to break. Maybe right now you feel stuck. Maybe you think, I've tried before, I always fall back. But falling back doesn't define you. Staying down does. Every day is a new opportunity to cast a different vote. One better choice, one extra rep, one chapter read, 1 hour focused, small disciplines repeated daily create massive transformation over time. Your life 5 years from now will not be determined by one decision. It will be determined by the thousands of small ones you make starting today. The food you eat, the conversations you entertain, the time you waste or invest, the excuses you accept or reject. That's power. Because if habits shape identity and habits are chosen daily, then your identity is not fixed. It's flexible, it's moldable, it's in your hands. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You need to win today, then tomorrow, then the next day. Build momentum, build self-respect, build evidence that you are who you say you want to be. And one day you'll look in the mirror and realize something powerful. You're no longer trying to be that person, you are that person. Here's the truth. You can't always control your environment. You can't always control who supports you. You can't always control what happens next, but you can control what it means. Change your belief about what's possible. Change your interpretation of pain. Change your daily standards. And slowly, powerfully, inevitably, you will change your life. The moment you decide that your mindset is your responsibility, everything shifts. Because the greatest transformation doesn't start with money. It doesn't start with opportunity. It doesn't start with luck. It starts with a decision to think bigger, to grow through pain, to act like the future you already exists. Change your mindset and watch your life follow.